we're taking housing, which to your point, Paul, is someone's typically their largest monthly expense. We want to be the program that helps renters build their credit score and build their savings while they're renting along the way. And so we want to facilitate renters throughout that entire process, however they want to choose to use their points, ultimately enabling them towards homeownership.
Live from the lounge, we're talking in real time. New vibes, bold minds, and stories that shine. From chats to laughs, where ideas thrive. So kick back, tune in, we're going live. So kick back, tune in, we're going live.
This episode of Live from the Lounge is brought to you by Bilt, the loyalty program for renters, transforming rent payments into valuable rewards. Learn more at Bilt.com. All right, welcome to Live from the Lounge. Today we're here at Cascara, Seattle with Paul Edgman, CMO at Thrive Communities. Thank you for joining us, Paul.
Of course. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, so let's learn a little bit more about where we are right now.
Yeah, so we are out here at Cascara, Seattle, so right up on Yesler, and it's a 345 home community, and I'm really excited that we get to be here. This kind of rooftop lounge space connects to the deck, and we're actually looking out. You won't be able to see it, but we're looking out over the stadiums in Seattle, like the whole Yesler Terrace area, and I think it's really one of our kind of favorite aesthetics for the Pacific Northwest here. This room mimics kind of like a fire watch type space. You can see kind of a sunset back here. So just one of the fun things about this podcast is we get to be in all these different unique communities. And I think this is a really fun one.
This one's a beautiful one. I've never been here and I'm obsessed with everything and how it looks. So we've actually been fortunate to partner with Bilt throughout this season of Live from the Lounge. And today we're actually happy to be speaking with Molly Riesenberger, the VP of Leasing and Loyalty at Bilt. So Molly, can you give a quick introduction of yourself and your role with Bilt?
I can. Hi, everybody. And thank you both for having me. Super excited to be here. I would love to come to actually where you guys are sitting because it looks so amazing. So sad to be virtual. I'm over in New York. But yes, I oversee our leasing and loyalty team at Bilt. And so I work on both the product and the customer side, working with our partners like Thrive to help build new ways for property teams to attract, engage, and retain residents, all while trying to ensure that the entire resident experience is seamless and rewarding at every step of that resident journey.
Great. So, Paul, how did the Thrive and Bilt partnership even materialize? How did we get to where we are today?
Yeah, so Molly can correct me if I'm wrong here, but I'll try to get the narrative right. So I think we were at a multifamily conference, marketing and tech conference down in Huntington Beach, and I was in a random presentation about kind of resident experience, resident engagement, which is something we've always been super interested in improving. I think, it's one of the most important things that we can work on as a multifamily organization. And I was on this panel and this lady was talking about kind of like hospitality rewards, like on this beach town in California, and how this small company had spooled up this really unique program where people got some hotel nights for paying their rent, essentially, which is obviously one of the biggest expenses in a lot of people's lives is either rent or mortgage. And I think I immediately started Googling in the panel, like any good conference attendee would, like hospitality, like resident experience programs. And props to Molly's SEO platform, I guess. I found Bilt, immediately put in like a super awkwardly worded contact form. And I think in like a half hour, I got a response from someone at Bilt who was saying, "Oh yeah, by the way, we're actually here, so we should connect up sometime." And then they just started a really fun conversation about kind of what Bilt was doing in the market. It was really formative at the time. I think Molly can speak more to this, but I mean, Bilt has really been kind of on a crazy trajectory of enhancing what they're offering. So I feel like we started really near the bottom, like
early
from
on,
ground up.
Early adopters.
Yeah, and it was really great because then I think we could help give them our feedback on how we felt about rewarding residents and engaging neighborhoods and all that fun stuff. So yeah, it was good.
Great.
Well, Paul, sorry to interrupt you, Jordan. I
No,
was gonna
go
say
for
that
it.
one of the funny things about that conference that we met you at, I wasn't there that first year, but it is ironic that a year or so later at the same conference, you were actually speaking on a panel with Bilt. So it's amazing to see how much it's grown over the past year or so with you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I wanted to ask, for the people who don't really know what Bilt is, what makes your platform unique, and what do you think the coolest benefit for a multi-family resident would be for being on the platform?
So, Bilt is now the nation's largest housing and neighborhood commerce platform. We have over 5 million homes that are actually making their payments through Bilt. And then we have more than 45,000 merchants on the merchant side. So, we really are connecting the home and the neighborhood. With all of that, we have both a resident experience and a marketplace platform. But I guess to put it simply, at its core, residents are earning points on rent and their everyday spend. So the everyday spend piece comes in with those 45,000 merchants. As residents go to any of those, which are everything from Walgreens to Lyft to tons of dining restaurants down the street or around the block or wherever you're going, all the major fitness studios and more, they're earning points on spend at those merchants. And then they're getting points on all of these things that they can go then redeem at our very comprehensive redemption ecosystem. Everything from one-to-one point transfers on travel with major airlines and hotels. And we'll talk about this more later, but I know for Thrive, one of the biggest airlines, because you guys are in the Pacific Northwest, is Alaska. So people can redeem directly for Alaska. They can redeem for fitness classes, for shopping, back for future rent payments, even student loans. So there's a ton of different redemption options. And so for me, I actually think the one of the coolest pieces and parts about Built is the whole ecosystem. Everybody might want to travel. Some people may want to redeem towards student loans or their down payment, and we have all of the different options.
Amazing. Yeah, I didn't know about all of that. My old apartment actually had Bilt, and I guess they just never told the residents much about what it was. So I never joined, but now, yeah,
Yeah, and I think
We gotta get you on.
I know.
I mean, as it's evolved, I think it's become like an easier thing. Like for our Thrive communities, that is just the way that people pay rent at Thrive. So it makes it kind of like an easy thing to be involved with. But I think that goes back to what Molly was saying. It goes back to the reason we chose it,
Yes.
which I think as marketers and as, people trying to improve resident experience in multifamily, we've always been looking for ways to just tie back, to the neighborhood and give people those rewards. On top of that, make them feel like they're part of a community. I think like Yesler Terrace is a great example where we're sitting here today. Like this area of Seattle has evolved so much in the last couple of years in terms of like what it has to offer and like kind of the types of retail and like dining that's available. And I think before we would fight for our lives trying to put that all on like a neighborhood map on a website that got like 3% of website viewers. And now like people log in just to like pay their rent and check on their Bilt points, and they're just like delivered all these great local partners that are literally like part of the neighborhood where they can just, go and get a free drink somewhere because they're part of a Thrive community or have all these like extra special little like experiences that I think just makes the multifamily like apartment community feel more integrated and feel more like just making little magic interactions here and there. So I think it's good. Yeah.
One of my, so well, I guess a couple things on that. I love all of that. And I think for me, it's been such a realization that loving where you live is the four walls of your home are very important to love where you live, but it's so much beyond that in terms of going beyond the four walls of your home and into the neighborhood. Because the reality is, even for me, like where I live impacts the way that I feel about my building. And so as we've built out this neighborhood network, theoretically, somebody could go take a Lyft to dinner, earn points on their Lyft ride on the way to dinner, be at dinner, earn points on their meal, get a complimentary item on that meal to thrive to Paul's point. Then they could need to stop at Walgreens on the way home, so they swing into Walgreens. They're getting rewarded on their Walgreens purchase, and then they take a Lyft back home, earn points on that, wake up the next morning and go to a berries class, and then they're getting rewarded there too and getting complimentary shoes. And so it really all connects together if you're taking advantage of all of the neighborhood merchants, which we kind of alluded to this a little bit. But one of my other favorite parts about the platform is yes, you're earning points on all of those activities, but you're also layering in these exclusive benefits that, to Paul's point, I feel like really help make people feel like they're a neighborhood VIP, almost like they're getting a country club style experience. So on the fitness side, if you go to one of our fitness studio partners, you'll get a complimentary item, whether it's free cycling shoes or a free yoga mat. For me, very nice in New York because I do not want to carry a yoga mat around the streets of New York. Or it's a free water, a free smoothie at Barry's. And then on the Walgreens side, one of my favorites, and this was frankly a learning for me over the past couple years, is I didn't realize that things at Walgreens like toothpaste or mouthwash or sunscreen are FSA HSA eligible. So with Bilt, just as the benefit of being a Thrive resident, you're able to link your FSA HSA account, and then anytime you go make a purchase at Walgreens, if one of those items is eligible, we'll automatically do the deduction for you. So I guess like with all of the different pieces of the neighborhood, there's some sort of exclusive benefit that residents are getting that makes them, to tie it back together. Of course, they're going to be excited about the four walls of their home, but then they get excited about the experience beyond the four walls too.
Yeah, it really just makes the community feel so much more like a home, and you actually can understand that there's places around you that you can be earning points on. And I think that's just such a unique thing that not very many apartments utilize. Speaking on that, Paul, why do you think that it's so important to focus on these resident rewards?
Yeah, well, I think for a couple different reasons. I mean, again, I think I mentioned at the beginning that it is really one of our biggest expenses in our lives is housing. And I think whether that's a mortgage or whether that's a monthly rent payment, like we're getting rewards on everything else. It probably costs us like $100 to leave your house these days. It feels like it does, right?
True.
Like Molly was talking about a little like Lyft journey to dinner. I'm like,
Yep.
that sounds like a $400
Yep.
night. Like I'm not
Yeah,
sure
that's
what
an expensive night
that
out.
must be a New York thing, Molly. I don't know if we can handle that here. But I mean, I think it's just giving people an opportunity to get rewards on those things and tying it all back to, making it more than like a transactional experience as a renter. Because at least with, in a mortgage situation, like you're building that value over time, hopefully. But I mean, a lot of people in the state of the market, like it's impossible to make that jump right now. And like we need to work towards it. So two things. Well, as you're working towards it, you can have fun doing it and get some points and go on a cool trip or something like that because you're already spending the money. But then I think the next thing is it helps people on that path towards home ownership because, I mean, for us, like it takes a lot to jump in the Seattle market from, where we are today to like going and purchasing a home. And I think Bilt has some really unique programs where you can kind of build up your points to get there, and also has some really great free kind of credit reporting, like where you report to your credit to build your credit over time if you don't have a long history. Like all those things I think are things about Bilt that people don't even realize, but we have thousands of people at Thrive that are getting kind of positive credit built by doing that. And that really helps propel them into that next phase. And I think that's just a really exciting thing. You guys might know this about multifamily management or not, but Thrive, we don't own the buildings, we manage. So we're out here just trying to like create this experience like on top of like the great communities that our clients have created. And that makes it even harder for us to help people sometimes get to that next step. Like a lot of ownership groups that own and manage, they can do this really unique thing where they propel people into buying a house. But for us, Bilt has become that thing to help people get to that next level. So I feel really good. Like if anybody takes anything away from this, just like knowing that the backbone of doing this isn't about, like fine dining or like flashy stuff. It's about anchoring the communities to the places where they are and then helping people get to that next phase. So
Yeah, exactly. Molly, I'd love to learn a little bit more about that credit side of things. If you could touch on that point a little bit.
Yes. Yes, I can. I think backing up a little bit, Bilt's mission is to make housing payments rewarding and then help renters build a path towards homeownership. So Paul kind of hit the nail on the head with all of that. We're taking housing, which to your point, Paul, is someone's typically their largest monthly expense, which before Bilt wasn't really getting you anywhere. You weren't getting anything back from it and turning it into something rewarding, whether it be that you're redeeming towards a vacation that you wouldn't have been able to take otherwise, or a Lyft ride, or a future rent payment, like whatever you want to do with it. That's kind of the core piece, which we talked about. Then on top of that, we layer on all these housing specific rewards and benefits, even outside of the neighborhood. So one of those is rent reporting. So we take all of those rent payments, and if a resident opts in, we will for free automatically report those on-time rent payments to the three major credit bureaus, which helps residents build their credit as they go towards the path of buying a home. The other piece of this is I mentioned there's a ton of different redemption options for what you can do with your Bilt points. If a resident wanted to, they could save up their points over time and they could actually redeem their points towards a down payment on a home. So theoretically, you could have a resident who's reporting their on-time rent payments every single month to the credit bureaus at no work to them, and they're saving their points to use towards their down payment, which becomes a really cool experience. Separately, in terms of getting people excited about making their rent payment and getting bought into this ecosystem, on the first of every single month, we have a concept called Rent Day, which helps to transform the actual experience of paying your rent into something hopefully very much more rewarding. So we drop exclusive benefits on the first of every month. A lot of times it's a transfer bonus or some sort of experience, and we even do chances to win free rent. So residents can participate in a game show of which people actually do win free rent every single month, which obviously then all accounts towards that path to homeownership if you're
I've never
saving money
won,
on your
Molly. I'm
rent
just saying,
payments
like,
per
I've
month.
never won, and I'm a little bit bitter about it, but we'll see. Maybe next time.
But yeah, we want to be the program that helps renters build their credit score and build their savings while they're renting along the way. And so we want to facilitate renters throughout that entire process, however they want to choose to use their points, ultimately enabling them towards homeownership.
Yeah, it's something I wish that I would have known about because we just bought our first house, and if I would have had Bill, I could have put some points to use. Gosh,
Just missed it.
just
But
missed
I
it.
think just to frame for like our audiences, I think I mean, the reason we're here is not, we don't be like, oh my gosh, Bilt's the most amazing thing. Like, it is really cool. It enables people to do a lot of stuff. This is not a Bilt ad. Like, I think it's
Yeah.
really, it's important to know that, like, this is all about things that we feel like we couldn't accomplish in any other way. And like Bilt stepped in and created this platform that made it really aligned with a lot of the goals we had on the resident engagement side. So I think that's the reason. I think if people come away with just a couple tidbits about what they can do on a platform that they're already using on a daily basis, I think it's really valuable because there's a lot of kind of hidden Easter eggs to it that are just like buried in the app or something that are really fun and engaging. And again, makes that like that rent day thing, even if you just don't have the Bilt building platform, if you're just like using the Bilt credit card, you get double points on everything on the first of the month, which I mean, I think it's like kind of fun. It makes a day that you're usually kind of like is looming over your head become something that's actually kind of fun and exciting. Yeah. So I think that's good. Like anything we can do in the multifamily industry to make things more exciting and fun for people, that's like huge. So it's really important.
Yeah, I think for me, it's been fun to help enable properties and work closely with you, Paul, and everybody else in the industry to take those experiences that, from what I've heard, have been historically really transactional, not even just paying rent, but also people that have maybe a maintenance complaint or whatever it is, and help enable you all to create experiences, hopefully at no work to you all, that feel more relational and more positive along the way so that it helps build the relationship with the resident throughout the life cycle. And you guys are already doing an amazing job of that, but it just becomes another tool in the toolkit to help y'all make the most of the relationship with the resident.
Is there anything else that you wanted to touch on or talk about?
I mean, I think that's pretty much the most like key points that we need to focus on. I mean, I think just knowing the options you have out there and how to like create this experience. Yeah. I think just continuing education to make sure, our residents and our teams are like dialed into all the different platforms out there that can help the multifamily process feel really engaging and fun, and like giving back to the communities we serve, whether it's through like a Bilt partnership or just like going out there and meeting them. I know like one of the things we get excited about coming to Cascara is Cafe Calaveras, which is right down the hill. We're always excited to go get a coffee there, and they're only open till 2. So I'm like, Molly, we got to wrap this up. But it's so fun to like get to know these neighborhoods, especially the ones that are changing and evolving so quickly. And I think just, anything you can do to get out in those neighborhoods and like interact with the teams if you're on site, or, if you live in one of the communities, just like walking around the neighborhood, bring an umbrella today because it's just miserable out there. But it's a really nice thing. I think that's the kind of feel-good stuff that we all need.
Exactly.
So it's great.
So true. Molly, is there anything else that you wanted to touch base on or let anyone know?
The only other thing I had is I was taking a look before this on some of Thrive's data and how residents are engaging with the ecosystem and value that's been added to them, and thought the numbers are actually amazing. So I thought I would share.
Yeah, I'd love to know.
Thrive residents have earned over $3.2 million in value through Bilt. And that is an incredible amount over not that long of a period
Yeah,
of
just
time.
over
And I
a
took a
year or
look at the
so.
travel
Yeah.
transfers to Alaska, especially given how relevant it is for you guys. Nearly 6.5 million points have been transferred to Alaska, which is 6.5 million miles. I don't know the math on flights there, but seems like a lot of flights to me. So just cool to see the value that you guys as Thrive are adding to residents just by partnering with Bilt.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a lot of miles. I was
Wow.
going to say I've looked at
Do you
some
know
of
the
the
conversion?
stats on redemptions. No, I don't know the conversions at all, but I'm hoping a lot of people had a lot of fun flights. But I always thought it was interesting looking at like the top redemptions for different businesses, and for Thrive, one of the top ones besides Walgreens, which is obviously an awesome partnership. Like I think that's crucial, but IHOP is always like top of the list for like top 5 places, and I'm like, what?
You can't go wrong.
Who's out here going
Yeah.
to IHOP like once a
Well,
week? Like,
maybe they get free pancakes,
is
you
it?
know?
Am I missing like
Can't
a?
pass it up.
I mean, oh my god, I need to go. Like, I think I need to go. It's been too long. I need to go to IHOP. Is the bottom line. If you take one thing
Yeah,
away, go to
IHOP.
IHOP. I don't.
That really is the only thing.
Yeah.
Perfect. All right. Well, it has been so fun talking with you both. Thank you so much, Molly, for being virtual and hopping on here and talking to us.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you so much. And we'll catch you next time on Live from the Lounge.
See you guys.
Bye.
Thanks, everyone. Bye.
Live
Yay.
from the lounge,
Good.
we're
Yeah.
talking in real time. New vibes, bold